guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am testing out another new foundation, and it is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. This just launched and everybody's been talking about it. I know you know, everybody is talking about this, so I'm gonna review this. I'm gonna do a wear test throughout the day and see how good this really is. But I'm gonna do a little twist on it. I'm gonna compare this to the other new foundation that launched, the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, and I'm gonna put them both to the test. I'm gonna compare them and see if there's a difference, if they're similar, if you need both, because both of them launched. So we're gonna put them both to the test and see which one's better. So if you guys are interested, please keep on watching. And actually, another twist, I'm gonna throw in another twist. I'm gonna test out the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation, which was a really popular one that came out before this one. So we're basically gonna test out all three and see which one works. And as you guys know, I do have combination to oily skin, so I'm gonna see if it works for me and my oily girls. So I'm excited to try this out. So if you guys are interested, please keep on watching. But before we get into the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, turn your post notifications on, add me on Instagram, add me on TikTok, and let's get into it. So as usual, you guys know the routine when trying out a new foundation. I have nothing on my face, no skincare, nothing. It's just completely bare. I will be using the bare minimum. I will have everything listed down below of the skincare I use. It's literally just gonna be a moisturizer and a primer. No oils, no toners, no serums, nothing like that, because I don't want it to alter the foundation and the result of the foundation. So let's get into it. I'm gonna get into the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. This is what it looks like. And I'm gonna show you guys the difference between this one and the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation, because I feel like some people might be confused on what's the difference. At least I know I was. So I picked up both, and just to spice it up a little bit, I am going to compare it to the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, because everybody has been talking about both of these foundations. These both launched around the same time, and they're very, you know, they're both like kind of claiming to do the same thing, the hydrated look, the medium buildable coverage kind of things. So I'm going to try out both. So I'm going to do a comparison between all three of them basically. So let's first get into this one. This is the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. The price point of this is $55 and it is 30 ml. It says on here that skin looks more radiant by up to 285%. That is a very high number. So it's looking like it's going to be very, very radiant, and it's long lasting. So that's great. With the Nars one, that's interesting. The Nars one says that your skin radiance is going to improve by 61%. So that's already one difference. This says 285% and this is 61%. So you can already see that this one's claiming more of a radiance that it's going to give you. It says it's long lasting, pollution defense. I did not see that the Nars one has that, so that's another difference. What else does it say? What else does it say? It is undetectable coverage, improves the look of skin with each wear, which is great. Boosts up hydration by 166%. Plumps up the skin by 181%. Skin tone looks more even by up to 210%. These numbers are real high, so that's looking like, you know, they really aimed real high to give you really good results. It minimizes the appearance of pores, reduces the appearance of pigmentation and dark spots, and skin instantly looks brighter. It says start it at the center of your face and then blend outwards for natural looking coverage. And this is a medium to buildable foundation. So that's basically a little bit about this one. This one says, the one thing that I noticed on the website is that this is aimed towards dry, combo, and normal skin, whereas the Nars one says it is aimed towards all skin types. So that's another key difference. This one has a 16-hour wear and it has hyaluronic acid in it. Hyaluronic, I love it because it just plumps up the skin. So that's really, really nice. And yeah, overall, it's going to hydrate the skin. It's going to blur the skin, and it's going to make your skin look so much better. So we're going to try this out and see. Let's get into the Airbrush Flawless. The Airbrush Flawless one is complete opposite of this. This is a matte finish. So it is a matte finish. It's still hydrating. It's going to blur your pores. It's going to diffuse it, make everything look smoother. And the good thing about this is that it's transfer proof, humidity proof, proof, waterproof, like it is everything proof, and that's why I picked it up. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm gonna try this on camera with you guys, but that's what I've read about it, that's what I've heard about it, and that's what it claims. It claims that it is literally everything proof, which is something I love, and it's full coverage. I love a full coverage. So you can see that that's like the huge difference between both of these. Full coverage, everything proof, whereas this is medium to buildable, and it does not claim that it's humidity proof or sweat proof or transfer proof. It doesn't say any of that. And finishes are different. Natural finish, matte finish. And this I think is targeted more towards like oily combination skin. I'm assuming because it's a matte finish, but I don't know how it would wear on normal skin. Maybe it would work. So that's like the quick little difference between that. So I'm gonna open up the skin finish. I picked it up in the shade 7 Warm. This is what it looks like. I love the packaging. It reminds me of 8 Cosmetics. I'll insert a picture right here. That's what it reminds me of. Same little idea of the pump. Packaging is really cute. Love this, exactly, especially if you're traveling and stuff. I feel like this is nice. And then let's open up the Airbrush Flawless Finish Foundation. Ooh, this is nice. This looks very luxurious. Very, very nice. I love the bottle. It's so pretty. So this is what it looks like, and this is a glass bottle, and I also picked it up in 7 Warm. So I'm actually going to swatch both of them on my hand, and I'm going to show you guys if the colors translate the exact same with their different formulas, because if you're using this, you guys can see if maybe you pick up the same shade in this one and vice versa. So let's try 7 Warm. Okay, it's pretty thick. It's thicker than the Nars foundation. The Nars light foundation, the light reflecting one, is a little bit thinner in consistency and literally feels like water, whereas this one does feel thicker. Not too thick, but definitely a lot thicker. And I feel like the coverage is pretty good, like, wow. So that's what it looks like. You can see it's pretty glowy, really smooth, really, really nice. That looks nice. Okay, now let's swatch the Nars Airbrush Flawless Foundation next to it. I don't know why, it actually feels like the Airbrush Flawless one is lighter in consistency. It doesn't feel as thick as the other one, which is very interesting. So this one is a beautiful skin. You can definitely see that beautiful, nice glow, very radiant, whereas the one beside right here is the Airbrush Flawless, which is a matte finish. So you definitely see the difference between the finishes. As for the color, I do feel like the color is slightly different. I feel like the 7 is a little bit warmer than, sorry, the Beautiful Skin is a little bit warmer than the other one. So I feel like there's a slight difference, but not too much, but just a little bit of a difference. Now, let's try the Nars Light Reflecting one so I can show you guys the difference with that one. I'm gonna apply that on the side of my hand. Yeah, the Nars one definitely feels so much lighter, guys. It feels like water. Like it's so lightweight in comparison to the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. This one right here on the bottom is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, super glowy. And then this one right here is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. So very similar in the finishes, as you can see. Now that my skin is prepped, let's get into testing out the formulas. What I'm gonna do, because I have 3 foundations I wanna compare and I only have one face, I'm gonna split it up a little bit. I'm gonna do the Beautiful Skin foundation on one side of my face, and I wanna compare it to the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. So I'm gonna do that on this side of my face. And then what I'm gonna do is, just to show you guys the difference, I'm gonna do the Airbrush Flawless Foundation on like my forehead and my chin. As you guys can see already from like right off the bat, this is full coverage matte, so this is very different in comparison to these, but I kind of just want to try this out because it's my first time, and I want to see how the colors are between both of these because they're the same shade and the same brand. So that's what we're gonna do. If you guys haven't checked out my last video, I actually recently reviewed the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I tried this out and did a wear test on this by itself, so definitely check that out because I did that in detail. It's a really good video, so check that out. So I'm gonna bring you in closer to show you my skin. You can see I do have a little bit of pigmentation right here and a little bit right here. You can see a little bit of redness. So we're gonna see how well this hides it. So let's add a little bit of the Charlotte right here. You know what? I should probably do my fingers. I'm gonna use my fingers for this. It definitely feels thick. I don't mind a thick foundation. I like thick foundations. I know some people hate it, but I like it. But I'm actually very shocked that this foundation is pretty thick because it's, I don't know, I expected it to be lightweight just because of how it's being advertised with like the hydration, like the skin radiance, all of that. I always think of foundations like that to be very lightweight, but this is pretty, I would say pretty thick. So take a look at that. You can see it's actually really nice. It's very, very smooth, very radiant. It covers up really well. Like you can see that my pigmentation is pretty much hidden, and that was literally just one pass and using my finger. So that's really good. Wow, I'm shocked. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe add a little bit more. I usually don't like using my fingers, but just for this, I am going to use my fingers for both of these foundations, just because I know that that's what it says on the package. It recommends to use your fingers. So I want to make sure I follow direction. That's really good. So that's what it looks like. Really glowy. She is glowing, and I like the color. The color I feel like matches really well to my skin. I feel like that's a really good match. It's looking real good. I'm gonna just apply a little bit more because that's what I like to do. I like to build it up to like more of a full coverage. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And you'll notice I'm tapping. I always like to like tap. I don't like to drag because then I feel like my makeup is just moving around. It's not really staying in place. So I always like to just tap my foundation. I'm so tempted to grab my beauty blender right now. You know what, I'm just gonna apply it on my forehead too, because I do have combination oily skin, so I typically do get oily on my forehead, so I want to see how it actually wears throughout the day. So I'm gonna apply it up here as well. All right, so this side is done, and that's what it looks like. You can definitely see it has a really nice, beautiful, radiant glow. Really, really nice. It did cover up my pigmentation, which is nice. It definitely is a medium coverage, medium buildable. It's looking good. I'm impressed so far. So now let's try the Nars Light Reflecting on the other side of my face. Yeah, this one's definitely a lot more lightweight. It feels like water. This feels so, so light. You know what I'm noticing? The Nars one, like I said, it's very lightweight, but it almost kind of feels oily in a way. I don't know if it's oil-free. I'm not too sure. But I'm noticing that it does have like an oily feel, whereas the Charlotte one, it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel greasy or oily at all. But I don't know why I'm just noticing this now. It does definitely give me that feel. Try to make sure I'm evenly distributing each foundation on like half of my face here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit more. I'm gonna just try to drag it. I'm actually gonna start blending it because I feel like that's a lot faster than the way I'm doing it. It's taking forever with the pat. All right, so this side is done. This is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. You can see that right there. You can see that glow. You can see it's like beaming. Very, very glowy. Again, you can also see that it is medium to full, medium to buildable coverage. It definitely also did cover up my pigmentation. Let me bring you in closer. So this is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. You can see pigmentation gone. Very, very smooth, very, very dewy, very juicy. You can see it's really giving that glow, that juice. Now here is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. You can also see the pigmentation is gone. Very, very smooth, really nice, very, very glowy as well. But it's not as glowy as the Nars Radiant one. You can definitely tell they're both glowy, but this one right here, the Nars one, is giving me that extra glow, that extra juice. Whereas this one, it's glowy, but not overdoing it. So the swatches on my hand are now drying, and you can notice that this one, this is the Airbrush Flawless 7W, is getting darker, whereas this is the 7W in the new Beautiful Skin, and you can see it's staying still really radiant and the color hasn't changed. So you can definitely see that both of them are 7W, but they are very different. This is a lot darker, whereas that's more a little bit yellow. Nars Light Reflecting one is giving me more of like a smoother look. I feel like I'm not really seeing any texture on my skin. Everything's very smooth, whereas the Charlotte one, it still looks smooth, but I can kind of see a little bit of my texture pulling through. It's not as smooth as this one. This Nars one, I feel like is giving me more of like a Photoshop, smooth, Facetune kind of look, like very smooth, whereas this one, it's kind of like, you know, just a little bit, not too much, but I definitely see a difference between both. Both of them claim to smooth out fine lines, smooth out texture. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm really feeling both of these right now. I'm loving how healthy my skin looks. I'm loving the glow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually finish my makeup off camera, and then I'm gonna come back, show you guys what it looks like with my makeup complete, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so my makeup is complete, and this is what it looks like. So remember, this is the Nars side, the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. So instantly, just by looking at both sides, I'm noticing that The Nars one is still looking a little bit more radiant. I used the One Size Beauty setting powder, which is a matte powder, because as you guys know, I am combination to oily skin, so I need something to kind of like tone down that oiliness that I get throughout the day. But you can still see the shine coming through with both foundations, but you see it a little bit more with the Nars one, which is on this side. Overall, I'm still noticing that the Nars one looks a little bit smoother. I love how this application looks. It looks a little bit smoother, a little bit more coverage, whereas the Charlotte one still looks great. Coverage is really good. It's not as dewy, so I do like that. It's not too overdone with the dewiness, but still really nice. Like I said, I do still see a little bit of texture pulling through with the Charlotte one, just a little bit. Whereas with the Nars one, I'm not seeing it. It's just a little bit more smoothing, which I love because who wants texture? Overall, right now I am more on the Nars side, but one thing I already noticed instantly was the Nars one feels a little bit more oily. It's a lot more lightweight. It kind of feels like water, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury, it is a little bit thicker. Doesn't feel oily or greasy at all, but the consistency is thicker. It almost reminds me of the It Cosmetics one. Same consistency, the thickness. So that's one thing I noticed with the formula itself, but overall I feel like I'm seeing a lot of similarities. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually in a rush. If you guys don't notice, I'm like speeding through this. I'm actually gonna go to work right now. I'm on my way to work, running a little bit late. So I have to go to work and I'm gonna be doing a wear test. So I'm gonna check in throughout my shift and at the end of the night after hours of wearing both of these foundations. And then we're gonna talk about our final thoughts and how it pulled through. So let me just give you a final zoom in. So this is the Nars foundation. Take a good look. And this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I will see you guys when I come back from work. All right, so it has been about 8 hours of me wearing both of these foundations, so I'm ready to talk to you guys about the results. So just a reminder that this side right here is the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, and this side right here is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. So after wearing it for 8 hours, you can see the difference of how it looks. So the Nars one is still very dewy. You can still see like a lot of radiance shining through. Same with the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. It's literally looking the same. So one thing I noticed between both of them is they are not transfer proof. So once I put my mask on, you can see that it's starting to come off a little bit on my chin, a little bit on my cheeks, just where the mask hits. But I do feel like they are long wearing. So if I wasn't wearing a mask, I think both of the foundations would have stayed on my skin, but definitely not transfer proof, so that's something to keep in mind. I do feel like the coverage is honestly the exact same between both of them. Both of them claim to be medium buildable coverage, and you definitely see it because you could see that I did have pigmentation on my cheeks, and it's completely gone. It's completely covered. I didn't use concealer. I didn't spot treat, nothing. So definitely both of them are buildable. Texture, I do notice that the Charlotte Tilbury is a lot thicker in consistency. It literally feels just like the It Cosmetics foundation, the exact same consistency, so it is a lot thicker, whereas the Nars one is lighter weight. It feels like water, so there's a huge difference with the texture. I also find that the Nars one feels a little bit oily, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury does not feel oily at all. Radiance, I honestly feel like they both give the exact same amount of radiance, and like I told you guys, I do have combination to oily skin, so you can see that now I am a lot more shinier than I was 8 hours ago when I first showed you guys. So this is very dewy, and personally this isn't a look that I usually go for. I usually go for more of a matte look because eventually I become oily and I already get really shiny, so this right here is a little too excessive for me. But the interesting thing I noticed is that the Nars foundation says that it's targeted for all skin types, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury foundation says that it's targeted towards normal and dry skin. It doesn't say all skin types. So it seems like this one's a little bit more hydrating and like they're targeting for more of like the normal to dry skin, whereas this one is for everybody. So that's interesting. When I saw that, I was very interested in that. But overall, I honestly feel like they're very similar, like very similar. Another key difference, I guess you can say, is that the Nars is more of like a skincare foundation. It has a 70% skincare ingredients, but the Charlotte Tilbury also has hyaluronic acid in it, which plumps up the skin, very like, you know, skincare. So both of them are the same. Do I think you need both of them? No, I don't think you need both of them. I think that either one will do, like either one you want to choose from. If I had to choose between both of them, if I didn't have oily skin, I would probably go for the Nars one. simply because I love the way it feels, and I did find that this made my texture disappear, and it made it look a little bit smoother instantly. So I would definitely choose this one over this one, but I can't work with it because, again, I do have combination to oily skin. So that's my thoughts on it. I do think that I'm gonna try out the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation that I showed you guys earlier. That one is a matte full coverage, which is totally up my alley. So I'm gonna try that out. And if you guys are interested, I can do a review on that. So comment down below. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of these new foundations in the comments down below, or what you guys wanna see next. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.